Actually, I returned to India after living abroad for about 18 years. I returned in 1984, and since then we used to have discussions here and there about the absence of Muslims in the Indian media, that we don't have a voice, that our concerns are not covered whether in print media or in the electronic media. So finally this led me to start this, we call it a newspaper. It's a fortnightly newspaper. This was the idea that our news and our views and our reactions should get into print in English, so that people, whether Muslims or non-Muslims who are not reading Urdu papers, can know what's going on in the Muslim. Still, we are a fortnightly newspaper. We would like to become at least a weekly newspaper, so that we can reach that much quicker and faster and can react. And also our coverage of some areas is not very good, like the south or northeast, or maybe even the eastern part, like West Bengal. We are not very good. Our focus has been more or less on North India, including Kashmir.
When you started 10 years ago, probably issues were a little different for the Muslim community. How do you see, what issues were important at that time and what issues are important now? And how your coverage or your Milli Gazette take on those things, or how you change your working style to address those things?
I think the basic problems were the same: our backwardness, our absence from media, our need to work on the educational field and all that. All this is same. Nothing has changed. Only the focus has been changing from time to time. Like when BJP started this criminalization of Muslims after it came to power, and they brought out the report of the group of ministers, in which they said that Muslims have taken to terrorism, and that some parts have been in the public domain. Otherwise, the actual report is not available to us. And also BJP and VHP and RSS leaders started at that time speaking day and night how Muslim areas have become infested with terrorists, and there are thousands of cells which are working in Muslim areas, and so on, and madrasas have become breeding grounds, and mosques are storehouses of weapons and all that. So I think at that time it was necessary to focus on that, but somehow the problem exists even today. But somehow since the Congress government came, I think it is not that acute as it was when Mr. Advani was sitting in the Home Ministry. The focus of the Muslim community changed slightly some 3 years ago, when such a committee report came out, and since then everybody is talking about the need to do something in the fields of education, economy, and also the need to pressurize the government to do something in these things in Muslim areas, especially in areas which are seen as Muslim or Muslim majority, or areas which have a good presence of Muslims. So we have been, like the rest of the community, we have been raising this voice. We have been covering, reporting, and also asking the government to do something, like opening schools, like opening colleges, like giving credit to Muslims. So as far as raising the voice is concerned, we
Can you
have
talk
been
about
doing that.
some of the achievements of Milli Gazette in terms of some of the news stories or reports that you have done, that you're proud of, that this is the reason you established Milli Gazette. A different kind of journalism that is not done by the mainstream. So if you can tell us something about that.
I think there might be some landmarks, yes, like the story we did about the claim that the border, Indian border with Nepal is infested with terrorists, ISI agents living in madrasas and mosques and all that. So we sent our team, and they spent a lot of time there, maybe 8 or 9 days there, and they brought very good news from there, very good report from there, and the interviews included statements of police officers, DIG, and this and that, and also political leaders, Hindu leaders of the area. They said nothing like this has happened here. There is no truth in this. Same thing we did about Manipur a few years back. There was a story that Manipur is also infested with Islamic militants, and they want to. This actually Pioneer came with a very big story, full-page story that Muslim militants are working in Manipur to convert it into an Islamic state. So also we did the same thing. We sent our man there, and he went around and wrote a very good report, in fact, which included comments of the Director General of Police of Impal. He said it's big lie, nothing like this has happened here. Then we don't know about these so-called organizations. So I think things like that we have been doing this. I mean, not just about these. I mean, there are many such stories we have covered. A few years back there was a story. I think the Times of India printed on the front page that Pakistani flags were shown in a certain area in Saharanpur. So I sent our reporter from here, and we got the story, including the SHO, which is in charge of the police station of the area. I said this is a lie. Nothing like this ever happened. The children of a madrasa were holding green flags. That's not Pakistani flag. It's a normal thing, Muslim flag maybe. It had nothing like what the Pakistani flag has. So in this way, we have been trying to achieve what we set for in the beginning, that we should bring out the truth about
So
the
give
Muslim
us,
community.
Dr. Saab, you give us some examples of type of things that you have done, your reporters, which being a community media, you have investigated the claims by mainstream media or official version, and try to put things in perspective and investigate really the truth. Can you give us some examples of the hardships that you have to suffer? You have sent your reporters, and some of them got arrested, and other like Shavasti and Madhya Pradesh. So if you can talk about those specific examples.
Yes, actually it happened only once. Usually, as you know, India is a free country, and we don't have any problems about going to places or doing anything. Of course, we have to have money in our pockets, otherwise you cannot function here. But India is a free country, and we don't have any problems. Even functioning from here, we don't have any problems. Nobody has ever come to me, although I have received a lot of phone calls, threatening phone calls. I have received emails threatening to kill me and all that. So it has happened, but otherwise nobody has come here to my office. Sometimes people saying that I am from the Home Ministry, and what you have written, so you should issue a rejoinder, I should write this and that. So I said, if you have any problem, you can come to my office. I am not talking to you on the phone. Otherwise, we don't have this. It had happened. It happened only once in Madhya Pradesh that our reporter had gone to investigate reports that Simi people, so-called Simi people, were nabbed from a certain area near Indore, where they had planted bombs and things like that. So as it happened that when he approached that particular village, the villagers called the police, and the police took our reporter to the police station and kept him there about 2 days, but later they released him without maltreating him in any way. And I think that was because he belonged to the media, and he could establish, and I could establish from here, that he is a genuine media person, nothing to do with any other motive or organization. So that's all that we had. Otherwise, we don't have any problem.
But he was not allowed to go back in that village that he wanted to go.
Yes, he was actually
escorted out.
like you can call it. It was a deportation. He was deported. He was put on a certain bus going to Bhopal and was told that don't try to go to the place or even to go to any place inside Indore. Just go to Bhopal. So that's what he did. But in Bhopal also, they had told him don't talk to the media. But he did talk to the media in Bhopal, because by that time it had become a big news in India, and a lot of a lot of media people were waiting for him in Bhopal when he reached the place. So that's how it became.
Being a community media and running your publication without any disruption for 10 years, it's a big achievement. What are some of the challenges that you have faced or are still facing putting out a magazine every other week?
We are facing a number of challenges. One is to get correspondence in a few areas, especially in the south. Some people start right because we cannot afford to have full-time reporters. In these areas, we want to have stringers. But after some time, after a few months, 6 months, 7 months, they lose steam and just go away or stop writing or stop reporting. This is a big problem. Maybe because we are not paying them a lot, like big newspapers. It's possible, but still I think it is because there is a lack of commitment in our youth. Maybe their outlook to life is not that professional. Maybe they are running after newer opportunities. It's also possible. And the other problem is here in our office also we have this problem that we are not getting committed staff who would stay here for years, at least to learn things, to do it in practice, and to have hands-on experience of the work. Usually people come and within maybe 6 months, 1 year, they just go away. Okay, we don't have any problem about that. But I think our people are not trying to adjust to the way a professional person would be doing things in his life.
How happy are you with, you had a vision when you started out, this is what I want to achieve. How happy are you after 10 years with the performance of this newspaper?
See, I accept that we have not been able to progress to the next stage, which is to start a weekly or to become a weekly. We have not been able to do that. This is a fact. But otherwise, I think whatever we have been doing, what we started to achieve, we have to some extent achieved it. That is to offer the Muslim side of the kind of views that we would like to present to the people. We have been able to do that. We have been able to cover stories which others are not covering. We have been able to put across the viewpoints that are not getting printed in other media. And I am really satisfied that wherever I go, in either political circles or intellectual circles, they know Milli Gazette. Even the Prime Minister and President of India also say that I read Milli Gazette. That's very big compliment to us. Same thing with ministers, they are reading Milli Gazette. I think the only reason is that they want to know what the Muslim community is doing or thinking or what is its line. So to some extent, I think what we started to achieve, we to some extent have been able to achieve. But still, I think that unless we become a weekly, we will not be that effective.
Two big things, criticism that we can say about Milli Gazette is that one, it doesn't have that many advertisements. So I mean, any publication we understand is supported not on subscription but mostly advertisement. Second is subscription based. I mean, obviously a lot of people are reading, but still community as a whole. If you go to somebody's house, it's very rare that they are subscribing to Milli Gazette. So I mean, how do you address that problem, or are you thinking about how to handle that?
You see, we love to have a lot of advertisements. We are not refusing any, or refusing only occasionally where we find that it does not suit our views or our ideological standing. But otherwise, we don't refuse. The problem is that the normal advertisers don't find it lucrative to advertise in the Milli Gazette like big multinationals or even big Muslim businessmen. They think that it's not a good idea to advertise in a Muslim newspaper. It will give them a communal outlook and communal color. So this is how it happens. We are not attractive to the normal advertisers in the country, you see consumer items and all that. They think that it's useless to advertise here, and I think they have a point.
What about subscriptions?
About subscriptions, actually we tried hard in the beginning to get it distributed through big distributors. But I must admit that we failed. They were not interested, although we did what they wanted. There's a big detail about that. But they are not interested in distributing what they think is a Muslim or communal newspaper. This is the problem. That's why we are concentrating on postal subscriptions, which are okay. The only area where we have a problem is Gujarat, where regularly and systematically our copies do not reach subscribers. This is going on for many years.
Interesting. What are your future plans? Or where do you see Milli Gazette in another 10 years?
See, if it was in my hand, I would like to convert it into a weekly paper, yes, and also maybe fairly quickly we are going to add some color pages, because lots of people are demanding this, and I think we can go for it in the near future. But as far as converting it into a weekly, it's not that easy, because we will need much more staff and much more funding for that. And at present, we don't have any funding from anywhere. Just our own work here, or my own work, or the companies. Our company is also doing some export business and all that. So this is how we are supporting ourselves. So we cannot think of going to a weekly publication in the near future, but we can start some color pages, maybe 8 pages in every issue.
You also plan to increase the number of pages in your thing, or?
Yeah, I would love to increase, because as it happens today, that we are not able to accommodate all the matter that we collect during a fortnight. A lot of it, maybe 30-40%, is not printed, and next time it becomes useless. It becomes history. But we cannot, at this time, we cannot afford to add new pages because of the problem of staff that we have. We do not have dedicated staff for certain pages and all that. So if we are able to get such a staff who can take care of certain pages, then of course we might increase the pages. Yes, we need maybe we might go to say 48 pages, yes, and we have the matter, but there are some practical and technical problems about that.
So, can you address Muslims of India and if you have to say, convince them, make a sales pitch for Milli Gazette, why should they subscribe? What would you say?
I think I would say that if you are complaining all the time that we are absent from the media, we don't have a voice in the media, then you have to start somewhere. And as I keep saying to people everywhere, in every state, that they should have media in their own language. Malayalis have their own media, yes, but outside Kerala we are actually absent. We have no voice in Marathi, we have no voice in Hindi, we have no voice in Assamese, we have no voice in Bengali, and so on. So we should create, and at the same time, if there is any good attempt to fill this void, then we should support it, be it Milli Gazette or anything else. How we can support it? We should first of all buy it, we should subscribe to it, we should advertise in it. This is how, and also send our news for publication in it. Some people are doing, yes, but I think not in the way that we would like. We have our own ways to collect news, and we are getting it, of course. But the society itself, the community itself should be proactive, and they should have media resource persons. They should have public relations officers in various societies and organizations and institutions should be making contacts with media organizations, not just Milli Gazette, but all sorts of electronic and print media, so that what we want to get published is published, at least in some places.
Thank you very much.